Hello, my wonderful friend. Today's video is titled Toxic Woman Alert, 5 Signs You Didn't Expect. Have you ever been in a relationship that just wasn't fulfilling? Or have you maybe looked around and thought, is this as good as it gets? Is this as good as relationships ever get? Maybe you've known a gal who you couldn't put your finger on it, but it just kind of felt like she didn't treat you that good, but you didn't really know why, and you started wondering if maybe that was just normal. Maybe you feel anxious when you're around her. Maybe she's hot and then she's cold and kind of just messes with your head. If that's you, then you're in the right place. In today's video, we're talking about toxic women and the signs that you owe it to yourself to learn so you can avoid bad and toxic relationships permanently. Toxic people can be tricky, and the truth is, most people do not know these signs. But again, you owe it to yourself and to your future relationship to know the signs so that you never get stuck with a toxic woman. Far too many amazing men end up in terrible relationships simply because they don't know these signs. So make sure you stay with me to the end because each sign is very important. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. My name is Melannie. I'm a Christian dating coach for men and creator of Attracting Lasting Love Academy. I'm your go-to source to learn how to attract the loving, lasting relationship you've always dreamed of. So make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And if you're interested in learning more about working with me to learn how to attract the lasting, loving relationship you want, just go to coachmelannie.com. I will put a link in the description below. Even if you've been following me for a long time, there's something about me that maybe you don't know. I have had a ton of experience with toxic relationships. Unfortunately, I was raised with an incredibly toxic father, and sadly, you attract what you know. So I had a lot of toxic friends and dated toxic guys. And there's a part of my past before I became a coach that isn't the happiest for me to remember. So toxic relationships are definitely something I'm proactive about sharing because most people don't know these things. And if you don't know it, you are so much more likely to get caught in a toxic relationship. This is one of the biggest reasons why I became a coach and why I created my academy. And just in case you're thinking, well, if I'm a Christian, then I'm probably safe from that, make sure you watch this video. Seriously. Watch this video. I will put a link in the description below because the truth is, even Christians aren't safe from wolves in sheep's clothing. So let's just start by defining what toxic even means. If you're sitting here right now thinking, okay, what is a toxic woman? What is that definition? If you think about something that is toxic, it is something that is hurtful, something that is harmful, something that's maybe even poisonous. This is very true of toxic people. Their behavior is very controlling and manipulative. They're very harmful and very hurtful to the people in their lives. You might even say that they poison you through their manipulation and their control. At the end of the day, toxic people are really just adult bullies. That's all they are. You know those bullies back in school that were awful? Well, a lot of people assume, well, because we grow up, they must grow up and mature too, right? That's not always the case. There are so many adult bullies, and really all they are is toxic people. People who will harm you. So how do you identify those people? How do you spot them and avoid them? Because if you're in a relationship with a toxic person, you can never get to the relationship with that loving, good woman that you want and you deserve. So let's dive into 5 signs you did not expect about toxic women. Toxic women, sign number 1 is that she's always acting like she's a victim, and she's usually very, very sweet about this. Oh, she needs you to just buy her food, or oh, her life is just so hard and there's nothing she can do about it and everyone needs to come to her rescue. Toxic people are always playing the victim card. How something has happened and there's nothing they can do about it and everyone else needs to fix it. Now, one of the biggest things you need to understand about a toxic person is they are always very charming, very sweet, very exciting when you first meet them. And they do this for a reason. It's because if they showed their true colors, no one would put up with them. No one would put up with a woman who's using you or manipulating you or controlling you. So it's very important to recognize she's going to be very, very sweet. So pay attention to that. The key is obviously to find a woman who's actually very sweet instead of pretending to be very sweet. If you've ever known a woman who acts like there are all these outside things happening to her and there's nothing she can do about it and you need to fix it, that is a key red flag of a toxic woman. Sign number 2 of a toxic woman, and this one is going to surprise a lot of people. This sign is that she uses her body to manipulate or control you. So what does this look like? Well, there are a couple of ways you can spot this. One is if she's rushing the physical side of the relationship, even if it's in an appropriate way. For instance, if you haven't known her very long and she's already cuddling and holding your hand and kissing you and really rushing that side of the relationship, that is a key red flag of a toxic woman. She's trying to get those brain chemicals to shoot off in your head so that you're completely infatuated with her and don't see her for the manipulative person she actually is. It's not that those things are bad. It's not even that those brain chemicals are bad. It's just that when you have respect for a relationship, you move at the correct pace. And a high value woman is going to want to move at that correct pace. While a toxic woman, she just wants to distract you and keep you so high on those brain chemicals that you don't see her for what she is. Another way a toxic woman will use her body to manipulate you is by showing a lot of skin. I'm not going to say all women who dress immodestly are toxic because that would be false. Often it simply comes from low self-esteem. Women who are high-value women who have a lot of confidence and a lot of self-esteem, they have too much self-respect and frankly too much respect for their husband or future husband to show that much of themselves. They don't need that kind of attention because they have confidence. They know their self-worth. However, a woman who has low self-esteem will often be tempted and give in to the temptation to show skin to try and get acceptance. With that being said, there are also many toxic women. Guys, this has been going on since the Bible, okay? When toxic women who will use their bodies to manipulate you. When she shows a lot of skin, she knows one of two things is going to happen. Either one, again, you're going to have those brain chemicals firing off so much that you're not going to be able to think straight and you're not going to be able to see through the manipulative, controlling thing she's doing. Or the second thing that will happen is it will embarrass you. Because let's face it, it's embarrassing when somebody shows too much of themselves, okay? It's inappropriate for a reason. And so someone who is embarrassed because it makes them feel uncomfortable, an embarrassed person is very easy to control and manipulate. So that is a very key red flag of a toxic woman, someone who is using her body to distract, to confuse, to embarrass, to control and manipulate. Now I need to pause for just a second and tell you, I'm not sharing this with you to scare you. Let's just kind of lighten the mood for just a second. I'm not saying this to scare you. There are so many amazing women out there, okay? So many high-value women who want to love you, respect you, be loved, be respected. That's not the point of this video, to convince you that all women are evil, because they're not. The key here is to learn how to identify toxic women and instead attract high quality women, high value women. Especially if you have known a lot of toxic people, you'll start to feel like that's all there is, because that's all you are attracting. So it's critical that you instead learn how to attract the kind of woman who wants to love you and treat you right forever. This is exactly, again, why I became a coach. Not to focus on the bad, but to instead help you learn how to attract and create the good. I put the secrets for how to attract that loving, lasting relationship into my academy, and I would love to share these secrets with you too. I've had men go through my program who have had multiple toxic relationships finally be able to turn it around and have the success they want in love as they've applied what they've learned in my academy. So if you're watching this right now and you've been burned from toxic relationships, or even you're terrified of ever being in a toxic relationship, you owe it to yourself to instead learn how to attract the kind of woman who's going to love you, who's going to respect you, who's going to light your heart on fire and be true to you forever. You owe it to yourself to learn those skills and strategies. So to learn more about my academy and the the amazing things you'll learn when you join me there, watch my free masterclass. Just go to coachmelannie.com/masterclass. If you're serious about having a loving, lifelong relationship, then you need to know the secrets I share there. So again, just go to coachmelannie.com/masterclass. I will put a link in the description below and a link in the pinned comment. Make sure you watch this free training to learn more before it's gone for good. Now let's talk about our next sign of a toxic woman. This sign is that she starts dominating your time and starts keeping you from other good things in your life. She'll keep you from your friends, from your family, from your hobbies, from the things you enjoy doing. She might say things like, well, you're just not very good at that, and our time together is really important, so we should do this instead. Or she might say something like, I really don't think they're good for you, and I don't think you should see them anymore. Or she might even lie and say, oh, they've been saying things about you, and I don't think you want to be with them anymore. Or they're so mean to me, I don't think you should spend time with them anymore. Whatever it is, toxic women, or toxic people in general, but toxic women as well, they want to be the only person in your life, period. And they want to isolate you from the people who might expose them, the people who actually love you. They also want to completely control and micromanage what you're doing. So they don't want you to have hobbies and interests and good things you're doing. So again, she'll sound really sweet and really charming about this. But if you start noticing that other important things aren't allowed, then it's a red flag that she's a toxic woman. Our next sign of a toxic woman is that she makes you feel small, even if she does it by complimenting you or saying something nice. It's kind of a backhanded compliment, if you will. An example of this is, well, you're just not very smart, you're not very good at that, so I'm going to take care of it for you. Or another example is, well, it's a good thing you're cute because you're not very smart. Something like that, where it kind of sounds like it's supposed to be a compliment, but it makes you feel empty inside. The person you're in a relationship with should never make you feel small or belittled or empty inside. She should be your biggest cheerleader. She should help you see yourself as the amazing man you already are. So even if you can't explain why, if she just kind of makes you feel belittled and small, it's a sign that she's not a good person for your life. Quick question before we get to our next sign. It's been a while since I made a video about toxic signs or toxic women. Is this something you would like me to make more videos about in the future? If that's something you would like, comment toxic to let me know. Your feedback helps me so much. So again, if you'd like more videos like this, comment toxic. And if you have any questions or thoughts about this, make sure you leave those in the comments as well. Okay, our next sign can be hard for a lot of people to spot, so pay close attention. This sign is that she's hypercritical. This can be hard to spot because often a toxic person will be critical while sounding nice. Like something like, well, I care about you enough to be the one to let you know. Or they'll say something like super hurtful and super negative and then say, I just wish they knew it and I'm just saying it because I care. And you may notice that she's being really critical about other people. You might not even notice how critical she is of you. But if she's being critical of other people, then she's being critical of you. She's probably just being very subtle and very discreet. Bottom line, who wants to spend their time with a critical person? No one. That's just super painful. So if you notice she's really judgmental and very critical of you or anyone else, it's a good sign that she's not someone you want in your life. Always remember that it is not your fault if a toxic person treats you badly. It has nothing to do with you. They will tell you it's your fault, but it's never your fault. You deserve to be out of relationships like that and to instead have a loving, kind, amazing relationship. Remember, if you've known a lot of toxic people, it's completely normal to feel like that's all there is, and to think those types of relationships are normal. I've been there, so I totally understand. But let me just tell you, there's a whole big, beautiful, loving world out there that you've never experienced, but you deserve to experience. You deserve that kind of love and goodness. The key again is to learn how to attract that high quality woman. And let me just say, if you've ever been in any kind of relationship, you are so much more likely to end up in another one. So you need to be proactive about creating and attracting that healthy relationship. This is exactly what I am here to teach you how to do, and why I created Attracting Lasting Love Academy, so that you can finally have the lasting, loving relationship that lights your heart on fire, that makes you feel encouraged and good enough, and makes you feel safe. So to learn more about this, go to coachmelannie.com/masterclass. I will put a link in the description below and a link in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I know it was a little bit of a heavy one, but if you have any comments or questions about this, leave them in the comments. And if you would like more videos on toxic women, just comment toxic to let me know. If you have not yet, be sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and give me a big thumbs up. Do you have a friend who needs to know the signs of a toxic woman? Share this with him. He needs to know this, right? They can be so tricky, and it's really doing him a favor by helping him know these signs ahead of time. If you don't yet follow me on social media, there are links in the description below. Make sure you especially follow me on Instagram, where I share exclusive content in my stories. Thanks so much again, my amazing friend, and have an amazing day. Okay. Ready for action. Look at my earrings. They're really cute. I don't think you can see them very good, but they're adorable. Just wanted to point that out because it made me happy. You should do things that make you happy. It's the little things that count, people. It's the little things. Okay. Anything to keep this a little bit light. Believe it or not, this is not my favorite topic. Okay, here we go. Minute and a half in. Haven't said anything that we can use. Here we go. Whew. That was heavy. Let that go. I'm gonna go eat. Eating makes everything all better. It's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, especially because there's bacon. Bacon's a happy thought. Let's end on that happy thought. Bacon. And watch my masterclass so you never have to experience a relationship like that. Okay, I'm gonna go eat bacon now. Bye.